Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaimMD here. Today we have another Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl moveset video guide on how to use MISMAGIUS or MISMAGIUS, however you want to say it. If you guys are enjoying these videos, make sure you leave a like. I have plenty of other moveset video guides and I have plenty to come, as well as a showdown live later today showing off this Pokemon, and also a third video today that I have no idea what it's going to be. So if you also like Pokemon, feel free to subscribe. On my way to 300k. Hopefully that's my end of next year goal and you help me get there. And if you like Pokemon, you know, I upload Pokemon so we could do this thing together. But I like this Pokemon a lot and I feel like it's such a cool mon, especially now the fact that they gave it Mystical Fire, which helps a lot, especially in OU. So let's talk a little bit about MISMAGIUS. And one last thing, guys, I do have some merch available to celebrate Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. It should be on your screen now, but let's get right into the first set, and that link will be down below. But the first set we have is Choice Specs. Now, I like Choice Specs a lot because this thing has base 105 special attack. That is a good special attack stat, especially at also base 105 speed, which is a really nice speed tier. You're higher than base 100, you're faster than Garchomp, and you hit pretty hard too. So Shadow Ball is your main move. This is going to be your strongest move for the most part. It is spammable. You can get Spadef drops, which is really good. You're always going to want to go Timid, I think, max speed on MISMAGIUS. One of the things that this thing has going for is this high speed tier and its high special attack. While it is still slower than Gengar, it has a few moves in its move pool that I think make it a little bit stronger than Gengar, or at least one move in particular that makes it stronger than, or different than Gengar. Not stronger, because Gengar is stronger. But Gengar is also just this insane Pokemon too. But the Mystical Fire is the big thing. So, and it also retains Levitate, something that Gengar does not have right now. But with Choice Specs, you get a 1.5 times boost in your special attack, with the unfortunate thing about being locked into a move, but that's completely fine when you're spamming Shadow Balls. Mystical Fire is your next move. This is great, especially for like Scizors. You are cooking Scizors with a Choice Specs Mystical Fire. It's also great for Skarmory. It's also cool because even if your opponent has, let's say, Exploud, right? If they're coming in on you or they're in front of you, if you go for Mystical Fire, even if they're Choice Specs, you lower their special attack by -1 and you 2-hit KO them because of your Choice Specs, and they cannot knock you out with Boom Burst because of the lowered special attack. And the Scrappy Boom Burst would be able to hit you because you're a Ghost type. So I just wanted to explain everything there because somebody says, oh man, Exploud can't hit you, you're a Ghost type. No, it's Scrappy, it can hit Ghost type. So Mystical Fire is really nice for that, and just lowering special attack. Then you have Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam will be your way of dealing with Pokemon like basically those dark types, Umbreon, a good way of checking also the like maybe Tyranitar. You don't hit them like too hard, but it's good. It's also good just for fighters in general. Those dark types like Crawdaunt too, if you don't want to end up having Thunderbolt for that too. So just, you know, Weavile, things like that. So the last move is either Thunderbolt or Hex. Thunderbolt is just strong versus water types. I mean, I don't have to explain what Thunderbolt's super effective versus, but Hex is cool if you do have like status on your team. If you have other Pokemon, Will-O-Wisp, Toxic Spikes, Thunder Wave, Hex is really nice because it goes from its weaker base power to 130 base power. So it goes from 65 base power to 130 base power if the opponent is status. And this is really nice, like even if you have like Spore on your team. So it's pretty cool when you pair it with like Toxic Spikes, and it's really strong because it becomes its strongest move on the set. Now if you have Choice Specs, of course with that speed tier, we have to also have Choice Scarf. So Choice Scarf I think is always going to run Shadow Ball, Mystical Fire, and Dazzling Gleam. Again, being able to hit a Scizor, and you can also live, like if it's not an offensive Scizor, you can live their Bullet Punch, which is cool. Shadow Ball, again, is your main spammable move. Choice Scarf, making you faster than Pokemon like Latios and Latias, which is really nice. Gengar as well, if they're not Choice Scarf themselves. Then you have Dazzling Gleam again for those dark types. And then your last move, I think either Destiny Bond or Thunderbolt. Destiny Bond's cool if you know that your opponent is going to knock you out in that turn. For example, let's say your opponent has a Tyranitar out and you have a MISMAGIUS, but you also happen to have, let's say, a Pokemon that appreciates Tyranitar being gone. So maybe an Alakazam, so you don't have to hit Focus Blast, or a Latios, right? So you have those guys in the back. You can go for Destiny Bond. If Tyranitar goes for Crunch or Stone Edge or anything, it'll for most part knock out MISMAGIUS, and because you went for Destiny Bond, you also take them out too. So that can also provide support for your team. The other option is Thunderbolt, because with a Choice Scarf, you're faster than Dragon Dance for Alligator, Dragon Dance Gyarados, so a Weaken for Alligator you could deal with, or a Max HP Gyarados you can deal with because you are faster than it and you can knock it out with a Thunderbolt. So it kind of really depends on what your team needs. I also like this Pokemon speed tier because it's faster than Choice Scarf Flygon, and as well as a +1 Salamence, a Dragon Dance boosted Salamence, so that's why I like Dazzling Gleam on this set too. for the UU tier. Now, the set I'm actually using later today that I really like in OU is Substitute, Nasty Plot, Hex, and Mystical Fire. And like I said, for the most part, you're always going to be going Timid, Max Special Attack, Max Speed on this Pokemon. That's it, because you want the Speed tier, you want the Special Attack. So you're going to use Leftovers in the set because you do have Substitute. Substitute is going to allow you to avoid status. It's going to allow you to avoid damage as well behind it, obviously, because the Substitute takes the hit. It's also cool for like Thunder Wave from a Blissey. And if that Blissey has no attacks to hit you, you can just set up Nasty Plot. So Nasty Plot is cool because it gives you the ability to boost your special attack +2. And then I have Hex and Mystical Fire. Now, I like sub Nasty Plot Hex in OU. Why do I like it in OU? Because Gliscor is the #2 most used Pokemon in the tier. And Gliscor has what? It has Toxic Orb, it has Poison Heal. So Hex is always 130 base power versus Gliscor. Now what else does Gliscor have? Let's talk about some common Gliscor movesets. You got Swords Dance, Facade, Earthquake, and Roost. You have U-Turn, Earthquake, Roost, Stealth Rock, or U-Turn, Earthquake, Roost, Default. And what do you notice about those sets? The offensive version can't touch you, and even if it has Ice Fang, it's not going to do that much to you unless it's like boosted to +6. And then the defensive versions only have U-Turn, which definitely don't break your sub. Because you have Levitate, you are immune to the Earthquake. So it's really nice to be able to deal with that. And you always have 130 base power Hex versus that Pokemon. It's so cool. This set definitely wants Toxic Spikes or Paralysis. Anything on your teammates for this definitely need to be like Thunder Wavers like Clefable or Blissey. Or Rotom can obviously have, Rotom Wash can obviously have the Will-O-Wisp and the Thunder Wave. And Rotom Wash is a pretty good partner too. Just because one thing that MISMAGIUS doesn't like as much is Pokemon like Tyranitar, so Rotom Wash can hit him with Hydro Pumps or Will-O-Wisp them as well. And they have Mystical Fire, and I think you definitely want Mystical Fire because if you have Hex to deal with #2, you definitely want to deal with #1 in the OU tier, and that is Scizor. So Mystical Fire allows you to knock out a Scizor when you are +2. If you have Stealth Rock up, you can also knock out some variants of Scizor as well, but for the most part, you definitely knock them out when you are +2, and you can get a sub up on Gliscor. And yeah, this mon's really cool, especially with like, even like Unaware Clef gets beaten if they're status, because you, if they're toxic, your Hex is like a 2 KO on Clef, so it's awesome. And then, you know, if they're toxic, they get poison damage too. Plus, you can lower their special attacks. Like even like, let's say that your opponent has a Blissey with Shadow Ball because they're weak to Gengar. Once you lower their special attack with Mystical Fire, man, they're not breaking your cell with that Shadow Ball. So you can plot in their face and lower their special attack and just plot, plot, plot. So I like this set in particular if you're using it in OU. I think it also works in lower tiers too. You can change it up. The next set we have is another Nasty Plot variant, which also has worked in OU. Shout out to my buddy Blim, who used this one in the OU tier as well. But it's Nasty Plot, Hex, Dazzling Gleam, and Pain Split. Pain Split is good too because, like I said, a lot of Pokemon like Blissey, they don't have Toxic right now, so they can't really touch you. MISMAGIUS does force switches on Pokemon that are weak to Ghost, and it's faster than it. And because of that special bulk, it can even live like random special hits from like Manaphy and stuff like that too. So it's pretty cool. You'll be able to Pain Split up. Because you are a Ghost type, you are almost cursed with low base HP. There's very few Ghosts besides like the ones that are legendaries like Giratina or Jellicent that have really, really good HP. So Jellicent's not even in this game. So you have the Pain Split there, gets you a higher HP. You have Hex plus Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam is going to be your way of dealing again with those dark types, whereas Hex is your other move. You can put Shadow Ball, but again, if you're using this, I like it with status. Next up, we have a Calm Mind set. Now, Sub Calm Mind is different than Nasty Plot, and this is something that also differentiates for Gengar because Gengar does not have access to Calm Mind. But Substitute plus Calm Mind. Calm Mind is cool because special attacks will start not breaking your sub. So you can substitute Calm Mind, get your special defense and special attack boosted, and then it's harder for special attackers to actually do a lot of damage to you. For example, if a Tangrowth, if it doesn't have access to knockoff, it only has Giga Drain. Once you sub and you Calm Mind up, it's going to have trouble breaking your sub. And then you have Shadow Ball and Dazzling Gleam. Again, just, you know, Ghost plus Fairy coverage. That way you basically hit everything with this. And it's just using it to, it's using that bulk more. This set is using that bulk more. Otherwise, you'd use Nasty Plot on most sets. But Sub Calm Mind, I think, is still really good too. Leftovers and all these Timid as well. And then the final set we have is a set that I actually used to use a couple times, and that is the Support MISMAGIUS set. You run a Cobra Berry because Cobra allows you to live like a dark type attack from, well, if you're playing in lower tiers like a Sneasel, Weavile might be a little bit different, but if you're playing in lower tiers like a Sneasel, and it used to be good for Pursuit as well, but there's no Pursuit in this game. But Cobra Berry lets you live a dark type attack, especially if you burn the opponent, and a lot of opponents you are going to be fast them, except for like Sneasel and Weavile. But you can burn them with Will-O-Wisp. This will cut their attack. And on top of that, you have the Color Berry to eat the dark type attack as well. Once you Will-O-Wisp them, your Hex is doubled in power, so that's pretty cool. You can taunt to stop the opponent from getting up hazards. You can taunt to stop the opponent from setting up. And then you have Pain Split for the recovery. This one's also pretty cool as just a stall breaker as well. This is a very similar set to what Jellicent runs. It just runs like Recover over Pain Split usually, or sometimes Strength Sap. But it can be used as a stall breaker type of again, a Pokemon that's not in the game, but it can be used as a stall breaker. It can be really nice because like even like Unaware Clefable, if you burn it and then you go for Hexes, your Hexes are still 130 base power, just because of the fact that their status. So you can taunt it, you can stop them from wish supporting, you can taunt the opponent from getting up hazards, you can stop them from setting up. It's just a cool way of using MISMAGIUS if you want to use it in a more defensive route than all the offensive sets that I've basically thrown at you. But that's basically all I have for today. Hope y'all enjoyed. Again, I used this Pokemon later today in OU, and this month put in a lot of work. Like it was, even the first battle, it already put in a lot of work. A little spoiler, but you know, just to get you excited. If you did enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe. Like I said, I do have a Best Buy link down below as well. If you guys want to pick up Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and support me, if you live in the U.S. or honestly buying anything from those links supports me. Like you don't have to, like you can go there and buy like a toothbrush from Best Buy or whatever. I don't know if they sell toothbrushes, but you can buy anything as long as you go through my link. Or if you want to pre-order Pokemon Legends Arceus, whether digital or physical, you feel free to get them. My merch link is down below as well. And that's all I got for y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow with another moveset video, and I'll see y'all later with